Welcome everybody to the Main Game YouTube channel. My name is Thomas, and for our first video here, I figured we would talk about some quarterbacks from the NFL draft here. So I've noticed that pretty much everybody has their take on the top 5 guys: Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, those kind of guys. And I've seen a couple people kind of talk a little bit in depth about it, but I kind of want to give my 2 cents on that second wave of quarterbacks, the 5 through 10 kind of guys. Just kind of see who I think is the best after those big names, but all could potentially go in the first round even. So just to give some background context, I'm not going to go too in depth on it, but my top 5 quarterbacks in order are Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, and then I actually have Hendon Hooker over Will Levis, but they're pretty close in my opinion. But yeah, we're going to jump right into it, starting at number 6. I think the next best guy, in my opinion, is Tanner McKee, 6'6" junior out of Stanford. He's the youngest quarterback here that I have. He's 22. There are a lot of things that I do like about Tanner McKee's tape. For what he had to work with a pretty bad Stanford offense and weapons around him, he actually did show some pretty nice flashes. He has the ability to get out of the pocket. He's actually a lot more mobile than you would think he is. He shows actually really good pocket presence, but he has the ability to get out and scramble and run about, which is actually really a big thing for him, especially considering how tall he is and big he is. He ran a 4.75, I believe, in the 40, which is really good for his size. But yeah, that's why I have it number 6. His tape doesn't look the best. His numbers from for basically his whole career don't look that good, but I think he will transition to being a really good backup in the NFL. And if a team does give a chance on him, he kind of reminds me of another Stanford guy, Davis Mills, a little bit. I do like Tanner McKee more than I did like Davis Mills, so take that with what you will. But yeah, that's Tanner McKee for you. Number 7, I actually have Dorian Thompson-Robinson from UCLA, 6'2" senior. He's 23 years old right now. I really like Dorian Thompson-Robinson as a late round prospect. He's athletic. He's one of the fastest quarterbacks in this NFL draft. He ran a 4.56 at the 40. He has good release. He has some issues with ball placement, but he makes good decisions. He runs an offense really well. He has an above average arm, in my opinion. I really like the potential upside of Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I don't think you're drafting him to be your starter, but I definitely could see a case where he comes in for injury and really shows off and gets a chance somewhere, like almost kind of like a Gardner Minshew a little bit, but he's a lot more athletic than Gardner Minshew, and I think he has a better arm than Gardner Minshew. So I am really high on Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He just has to fall in the right place for him. He has to have a scheme that works in his favor, and I think he'll have a really good career. Yeah, number 8, I have Jaren Hall from BYU, kind of one of the older prospects. He's a 6-foot senior. He's 25 years old. Like I said, kind of older, but he's basically as athletic as Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He's ran a 4.62 40. Has a lot of ability of getting out of the pocket, rolling around. I think he has a really good arm. He does have some accuracy issues. I think his placement has a lot of work. So I think he leaves a lot on the table to be desired. But it's tough because he's 25, so he is an older prospect, and it's kind of like with the older prospects. Well, if you're not good and you're already 25, I mean, how much can we really improve upon that? But he does have physical traits that definitely is going to lead a team to wanting to take a chance on him. He's a little raw for my preference, but I definitely can see him being a mid to late day 3 kind of guy, and being one of those like shot in the dark, like has some upside, but might fall flat in your face if you draft him. Yeah, I like him, but I don't like him, if that makes sense. We're kind of getting towards the rougher part of the quarterbacks here, kind of after Dorian Thompson-Robinson. My love for these quarterbacks pretty much fall off for a majority of my love for them. But yeah, I have Jaren Hall at 8. At 9, I have Clayton Tune, the quarterback from Houston, 6'2 senior. He's another semi-athletic guy. I mean, I think everybody in this draft class has a pretty good ability to move around the pocket, get out of the pocket, scramble, not take sacks as much as they should be. So mobility is a plus with this draft class for sure. But Clayton has a lot of things I actually do kind of like about him. He's an accurate passer. I think he has good touch for the most part. He does leave some passes with a lot of like oof, like that's how you threw that pass. But he leaves a lot on the table, but he does have some good quality traits that you want in a backup quarterback. Like I said, accuracy. I think he has a really good release. He has a quick release. And from what it sounds like, he's a really good leader for that Houston team. His teammates talk really highly of him. I think he'd be a really good backup in the NFL. I could see him being a backup for a long time in the NFL. A couple spot starts here and there, and he's going to do just fine. He's not a guy you're drafting to be the quarterback of your franchise, but he has those good positive traits. Some things to be worked on, though. He has poor mechanics. There's a lot of passes where you don't like what you're seeing from a throwing standpoint. But that can be ironed out in the NFL. Mechanics can always be worked out on. It's some of the other attributes that are going to be question marks at the next level. He had some good stats from this last year, but Houston is a pretty passer-friendly system. So that kind of hinders a little bit. It's kind of like with Hendon Hooker, where their system might not work in the NFL, but for college, it really shows that it can be a very successful system in the college level. But who knows how much that's going to translate? And it's kind of the same thing with Houston's offense. But then my last quarterback here, I have Jake Herner, 6-foot senior from Fresno State. He's 24. He's kind of an older prospect as well. He ran a 4.82 40, so not fast, but not like pocket stuck like a Carson Strong from last year's draft kind of speed. Jake Herner, he's got great timing on his ball. He hardly has to have his wide receivers do any work. I mean, he puts the ball right where it needs to, and that's for a backup quarterback. There's not much more you can ask out of a quarterback. Can you make your throws? Can you make your reads? Can you put the ball in an advantageous position for your wide receivers? Another great thing about him, though, is he's had some injury issues in the past, but he's a competitor. He is strong. He is tough. He kind of gives me Kirk Cousins kind of vibes a little bit with the durability aspect, even though he, like I said, has had some injuries. But he'll take hits. He takes hits and he gets right back up, and he's strong. And as long as he can stay healthy at the next level, I think he could potentially jump up even behind, to number 8 behind Dorian Thompson-Robinson. But the injuries do leave some question marks at the next level. And then another thing with his passing, one thing I don't really like is he has an issue with touch sometimes. Even though he has great timing with his passes, sometimes he airs the ball out just a little too much, causes his receivers to slow down, creates unnecessary jump ball situations. He doesn't always know when he should put a little more juice on the ball, or sometimes puts too much on the ball and not enough, or needs to relinquish a little bit. So we'll see how he does at the next level, but I could see a team taking a swing at him, maybe as a UDFA or potential just a 7th-round pick or something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the first video here. That's my second tier of NFL quarterbacks. If you guys have any input or anything I can do to potentially make these videos a little better, please let me know down in the comments. Feel free to subscribe. But aside from that, that's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.